guess what? You're watching me through a GoPro. We got the replacement, ready to go. We're back and rolling. Let's go! We got a little bit of rain over the weekend, but really not too bad. I think we will be able to plant later today. This morning, we got to run a couple of them loads up to the ethanol plant. Let's hit the road. Alrighty, we made it to the ethanol plant. This is a little bit different one. This one is north of us, about 45 minutes, up in Iowa Falls. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this one. I haven't been up here probably for almost 3 or 4 years. Not much has changed. They're under a new name. Basically, that's pretty much it. Comparing it to where we normally go, it's probably nicer in some ways, and some things aren't as nice, but it's still a very simple plant. The drive isn't as relaxing as the other one. Pretty nice process through here. They use scan tags instead of the CB, which is nice, so you don't have to talk to somebody and then there's a chance that they might not hear you and you have to repeat yourself. So having that is one nice added bonus over the other plant. One other funny thing I will add real quick. When I was pulling in here, there was a truck in front of me and he was stopped. Wasn't moving. He later, a couple minutes, came out and said, "Hey, my automatic tarp is giving me problems. I can't get it open." I had to back out of the way so he could move so I could get through. As you all know, we have manual tarps here at Man Farms, and that is exactly why. Because it's never gonna fail on you. Electrical's nice until it's not. All done dumping. Gonna get weighed out, head back home. Nice easy run this morning. Looks like Chief's gonna head back up for a load. In the meantime, we're probably gonna go check some fields, see if it's even remotely dry enough to plant. Maybe get the planters filled up, ready to go. We're back here, we just got the planter loaded up. We're gonna go try to plant and see what happens here. Going right out here to the isolation around the home farm. We're gonna give her the old college try. Ain't that right, Master? Yeah. There's one. There's the other one. Well, it's planting, and it really ain't too bad. I mean, it's just kind of cold, but other than that, I think it's good to buy. He was having some trouble with his swath control. The right side of the planter wasn't planting. He's still having trouble. The monitor is not letting him plant 40 feet from the boundary. We think there's a setting in there that's causing that. He's gonna talk to the precision guy, try to figure out how to switch that, get that fixed. I'm just gonna go head over and get the 12 row out, get it filled up, and go plant. Try to get something done. It's good. Hope he's getting it figured out over there. Got the planter folded out, got the tender out. Just gonna get it filled up with seed here quick. Get the planter filled up, fold it up, head to the field, and hope everything goes well. See you over there. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a pretty decent start, 8.6 acres down. It's working out pretty decent. It's not perfect by any means, but would you look at that? Look what's trying to come out. The sun. Trash whippers are clean. Gauge reels are running pretty clean. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but there is a little bit of dust flying, so we are sending it. Hopefully the rain stays away for a while. On the back side of this farm, there's a nice gradual curve along a creek all the way to the other end. What I was able to do is use what's called an AB curve. So basically, I don't have to use my markers. Get in the GPS, I select AB curve, right there. I drive along the fence row, and it records everything I do, every little turn, every little corner. Now I can come back and just run the auto steer, and it'll go right and follow all the curves. If you remember from a video last fall, Mustard used this same technique along a creek while putting on anhydrous. Super, super slick thing on the John Deere auto steer. Here you're gonna see it in action. There you go, slowly turning itself, following that curve. Perfectly planting along my first pass. Here's some really intense curves that I'm going around here. Here's an inside curve. These are pretty cool to watch. Sharp curve, little adjustments. Following it perfectly. Finally rolling. Pretty good, knock on wood. You never know what can happen. Planting some corn in an isolation field that we rotate with seed corn. It's gonna be beans this year, but we put corn in the isolation every other year. Some spots down at the bottom of the hill, like down in the corner there, it's a little tacky. I dug some seed up. Still seemed like it was closing around good, and the sidewall wasn't smearing like it would if it was really wet. We decided, hey, got this little window here, let's go get done what we can. In case you don't remember, if you haven't watched the equipment tour, this is a 7200 24 row. I can't remember the exact year. I think it's early 90s, maybe 92. I've had this planter for, well, if it's 92, at least 30 years now. Just keep getting her out. She keeps planting corn, planting beans with it. Have an implement that's this old and you're still using it, you know, get some age on it. As long as you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Sometimes it's hard for it to get up in the morning, you know, sometimes the cylinders don't always want to work right. Just got this little isolation patch done along the road. It's only about 5 passes from the road in. That's where the isolation ends. Then just check some fields. It sounds like where we wanted to go next was a little wet. We're kind of on hiatus for now. Good news, get this planter cleaned out. We have a small patch of seed corn we might be able to potentially plant. I'm gonna get it cleaned out. So if that can go, we're ready, and we can just go straight to the field and plant some seed corn. Well, see that? See that? It's starting to rain. I knew it would. It was just a matter of time. Thought it was gonna hold off till about 8. Crept up on me. We got 37 acres done. That's about half the farm. Another day, another struggle. Hey, Luke, I know you're watching this. You left your mower in the way. What do you think of that, Badger? Rained out again. Got the 8400 parked in the shop. That's gonna be it for the day. What do you think, Buck?
I quit thinking. Makes things a lot easier for you.
Well, there you go. That's good advice.
That's what I tell everybody. You just gotta stop thinking. And then you don't think about nothing.
We're here at a neighboring farm at one of our smaller bin sites. Look, we got a little friend in the hopper. Chief just kicked on the auger and out came a raccoon, and he's alive and well as ever.
Open up the hopper?
Yeah, go for it.
Come out of the auger?
It's a raccoon.
Look at that guy.
We're sweeping out the last load of little beans today. About 500 bushel maybe. It's a little bit later in the day here. It's about 6:30. I didn't do much filming for most of the day. I was just kind of doing some random odd things. Fixed a couple planter lids on the 12-row planter, mowed the yard, loaded the semi, and filled the overhead back up. Drove around and looked at a few farms to see if they were even fit, which they are not. We got 6/10 of rain just the other night. Right now, I'm gonna take the 4450 and the raptillator over to a farm that we've been working on, dozing. Padger's getting the final touches done with the dozer. Gonna go raptillate it. He's gonna come back, get the drill, and we're gonna get those waterways seeded tonight because there is a chance of rain early tomorrow morning. Before I fire up the old hoss, that is not our semi there. That is another farmer south of us, about 20 minutes. And his truck driver, I know his kids watch these videos. So there you go. They were asking, hey Dad, when's the truck gonna be in the video? So there it is. There you go. Shout out to them. Thanks for watching. He's just hauling some corn for a neighbor just down the road, so he asked if he could park his semi here so he doesn't have to haul it 20 miles back home every night. We're like, yeah, sure, you can park it. That's why we made this little driveway here, specifically so he could drive it here. Come on, always looking out for our neighbors. The raptillator doesn't trail very well. I think we need to put some front weights on it. It needs a little more weight in the front. It's a little back heavy. Just add that to the list of projects this summer. Nice looking waterway once it's all finished.
A raptillator at work. Look at the raptillator. What a machine. That has been the best tool. The waterway, the bulldoze, you don't have to bring a big tillage tool over. Look at this thing in action. Now you can't go too deep because it'll ridge, but man, it just does just what we need to do for these waterways. Later.
Definitely just a little too wet to plant yet. I'm just coming down here to check out this other waterway that we redid, and then Badger decided he was gonna do these other two. This is one a couple videos ago when we were tearing out the trees down here. Bucky came and seeded this one. Let's see if anything's coming up. Not quite yet. I think that's a wrap for seeding waterways. If you look on the 10-day forecast, you can finally see by this weekend. Today is Wednesday. Looks like, whew, things are finally gonna start turning around. And if you ask me, it looks like we just completely skipped spring and we're going straight to summer. 80 degrees, sunny, gotta love Iowa. Those warm days will be good. Things will dry out and we'll be able to hit the fields pretty hard. Looking forward to it, finally. If you come about right in here, you got some pretty good soil here. I would say it's a little more silty here. Come up here another 20 feet or so, and you got some real clay stuff. Some silty loam clay, some pretty good soil there. You come another 20 feet and you get straight sand, and you can just see the different soil types just in this little area. So that's kind of cool to see. Amazing how fast the landscape can change. You can have some sandy, non-productive ground mixed with some silty clay, some silty loam, really good productive ground. It all averages out.
Yet another job for the raptillator. It's crazy. The thing is in demand all the time. We tore out a fence row here, and there were some trees in it, and dozed off the ridge, and Instead of bringing down a big 40-foot VT tool, we just bring over the raptillator, the disc, field cultivator, and a drag on it that's made for a chisel. I mean, we're done with that. We're planting in it. Love it. So yeah, this is what it looks like so far. There used to be a fence about right where that grass line is, all the way back down to that tree line. We're working it up with our homemade soil finisher. 4450 is about a perfect match for it. I'm kind of trying to go a little shallower and speed up, just to kind of smooth out any final ridges there might be. But don't get me wrong, all our big tillage tools are nice, like our VT and our big 60-foot cultivator. When it comes to doing work like this, whether it's patching waterways or reshaping waterways or taking out fence rows, these small tillage tools like this, then we also have a cold mulcher, are perfect for doing this kind of work. Small and simple. We kind of do more fine-tuned work with it. It's just handier moving from field to field. You don't have to drag the big implement over here. I'd say the other thing that's kind of fun about running small equipment like this is it kind of gives you a taste of what it would have been like farming in the 80s and part of the 90s, 10, 15, 20 foot wide tillage tools. It would have been a long day working 100 plus acres like this. Being a young farmer, not being around during that era, it kind of gives you a taste of what it was like, and it's kind of a little vintage throwback, if you know what I mean. Mustard is now going across the fence row with the raptillator. We used to have about a dozen trees in it, fence line. That is beautiful now. Just got done. Here's the finished product. Looking pretty good. Sometimes you just gotta get a season or two of crop in before old fence line is really smooth like you want it. So that would be good enough for now.